Greetings and bienvenue, midnight crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Not my story, not even a friend's story. He was more like someone I went to school with who I knew to say hello to and ended up stumbling across on Instagram a few years ago. If he hadn't been suggested, I wouldn't even have remembered him. Spends most of his time doing outdoorsy things like mountain bike riding, talking photos, walking trails, climbing peaks, that sort of stuff. Has started to get into semi-urbexing. Drives miles out of the way to walk some peak or trail. Soon as he gets there, the weather turns horrendous. Decides to give it a miss. Because of how far he is out of the way, he opts to find a room somewhere, stay the night, and do the walk tomorrow. Has a drive around, but it's just fields. He comes across what seems like a motel, but it's bigger, more like a holiday resort. Going to be pricey, and that's if you don't already need to be booked in. Enters. Looks like a nice place, dated as all fuck, but a nice place. No one was around. Wanders about looking for someone but doesn't find anyone. Goes upstairs. It's the same there. Dead quiet. Knocks on one of the rooms. No answer. He tried the handle. It's open. Room is completely immaculate. Floors nicely hoovered. Beds made, TV in the corner. The whole thing looks like it hasn't been updated since the 1970s. Even the TV is one of those big box types with the wooden surround and knobs on it. I check other rooms and they're all like that. The only place that isn't maintained is a pool out back that's empty. Ends up leaving because he can't find anyone to booking him, and it's a bit eerie. Says it's just like he stepped back in time. Story would have been doubtful because I don't know him well enough to vouch for him. But like I said, this was on Instagram, so he had posted all of the pics he took. Like a dumbass, I never bothered saving any of them and put it down as, I'll easily find him again, and never have. He wouldn't share the location neither, in case people destroyed it. One day I'll come find them again.
Great story, Anon. Can you disclose at least which state this was in? It sounds like one of those old-timey themed motels that people have. It probably had only a few people taking care of it. Perhaps something of urgency happened and they had to leave suddenly, or maybe it's some sort of attraction. Very interesting to think about. I do doubt it holds any paranormal value, but still cool.
This is in Banjistan Senpei, not the US. We live in the north, so my guess is it was somewhere around the border with Scotland, or maybe it was in Scotland itself. I was literally about to ask him where it was when I got to the end, and he said he wouldn't say, so there was no point in anyone asking. He did say he was going to go back with a couple of trusted friends, but as mentioned, I haven't found his account again since, so I can't check. However, he was in my brother's year, and he knew him a lot better than me, so I might ask him the next time I see him to make an Insta account to see if he can find him. I don't think there was anything paranormal about it myself, but I also don't think it was a themed place. It's not unheard of here for a hotel or something to be in the middle of their usual chores. Then all of the staff are told that they're being made redundant, so they all fuck off and leave the place as is. They're in the paper from time to time. A lot of houses that old people have lived in are like that, like time capsules, because people forget about them. I can't stress though how well maintained it still looked, like no dust or nothing. A few other things that were off about it that I couldn't fit in the other post. All of the bushes and trees were overgrown. You could just see a tiny bit of the building peeking out until you were up to it, but once you walked through that, it was nicely maintained. There didn't seem to be a car park. He was parked out in front on a dirtish kind of road, and there were no other cars around. There was only one window that was broken, but it was boarded up with chipboard. No other vandalism at all, which made me think no one had hung around the place or it would have all been fucked up. Really cool place though, I'd love to visit it myself.
Be me. 25 years old, driving home to Grand Junction after a weekend in Las Vegas with 2 friends. We drove the first half of the journey in the late afternoon, stopping around 7 p.m. at McDonald's, before heading out for the last 5 hours of the drive. The second half of the drive is east along Route 70 in Utah. Anyone who's driven this bit of highway will be able to tell you how quiet and barren it is. There are several stretches where you're driving over 100 miles without so much as a gas station. It's almost all desert, scrub brush, dry riverbeds and tumbleweeds. The occasional farmhouse or ranch buildings pop up now and again, but most of them are abandoned. About 2 hours in, we're all startled by a loud popping sound. I look around and see nothing immediately wrong, before noticing a small chip in the front window. Must have been a pebble shot up from the road, but there was no car in front. Just seconds later it happens again, another small chip. I glance back at my friends in the backseat. Both are on their phones, oblivious to what just happened. I call out to them to stop playing around in the back and check if they can see anything. I look in the rear view mirror again, and see something very strange. Just a couple hundred yards behind us, a huge black cloud is billowing up off the ground. I can't make out any details through the windows, so I pull over onto the shoulder. It looks like it's coming right towards us. We stay inside the car until the cloud engulfs us, blocking out everything. It's pitch black, and we're all trapped inside the car. All I hear is faint sobbing coming from the back seat. Then suddenly I feel a sharp pain across my neck, followed by total silence. I wake up lying on a bed. I am in a hospital room. I'm later informed that we were found 30 feet down a bank at the side of the road by another driver. He pulled us all out of the car and called 911. Apparently my friends also woke up screaming, which is why he didn't try to help. By the time the ambulance arrived, the others had calmed down enough to tell them about the darkness. Given the fact that we're young, and on the way back from Vegas, the EMTs assumed we were drunk, drug driving and crashed on the highway. The doctors said I passed out due to loss of oxygen to the brain, and then developed a seizure when I came around. I don't remember anything else after the silence. My parents didn't say much. They kept asking me how much I had drank, but I couldn't answer them. There was just this awful hollow feeling inside me, like I knew something terrible had happened, and I couldn't shake the sense of dread. My friends and I spoke about the drive a few days later. 1. Didn't remember anything and felt fairly relaxed about the situation, lucky to be okay. The second, really didn't want to talk about it. I told him about the cloud and he just nodded, looking terrified without saying a word. I pushed him to remember anything he could. He said only one thing to me, which will haunt me till the day I die. It wore you like a mask. I still think about that night every single day. I've never shared this with anyone. Not even my girlfriend. It feels like it's eating away at me. I can feel it growing deeper and darker each day. I can't ignore the thought of being attacked by whatever it was.
6th grade, Southern California earthquake through the 80s going into the 90s. Bedroom is the last one down the hallway of a 2-story house. Hallway lights are off. Parents are at the dining room table talking to grandma. Can hear the conversation. I'm getting sleepy. Lay on my bed, which has no bed frame, literally a bed mattress on the floor. Against the wall and away from the door. Looking down, light emanating from the dining room through the hallway from my door into the bedroom. Suddenly the bed jumps up and shakes violently. Lasted maybe 4 seconds, but the adrenaline that spiked made it feel like a good 20. Immediately jump up and run down the hallway yelling there is an earthquake to warn family. Parents stop mid-convo and look at me like I'm crazy. I'm staring at them, asking them if they felt the ground shake. They are puzzled and nothing is moving. Fear sets in and I begin to cry. I know exactly what is probably going on. Fuck that. Got more. My friend's grandmother passed away unknown to me. I was sleeping on the couch in the living room at home. I'm facing the dark hallway and the dining room window is behind me. Neighbors' light from their backyard gives luminance from the entry hallway of the front door. Everything else is dark beyond that. I woke up suddenly to this. There is a white, yellow orb ball floating in the bedroom hallway. I stare at it and it moves to me slowly but then toward the right to the front door. This was a good 5 to 6 seconds of me trying to connect the dots to what I was experiencing. The light fades away before it goes into the illuminated wall from the window and neighbor's backyard light. I couldn't sleep for 5 minutes wondering WTF just happened. Environmental phenomenon. High school 1995 or 96. Clear skies, not clouds, blue atmosphere, rare in Southern California sometimes. I was sick so I stayed home. Sat outside in the backyard patio midday and saw Cheeto-sized foam falling from the sky. WTF is this foam shit? There is no wind and it can't be snow. Walk out from under the patio and see a disgusting brown cloud in the sky. It floated seamlessly toward my high school about 1 mile away. Later in the day my friend told me everyone during lunch saw this fucking cloud dump Cheeto-sized foam all over the fucking place. Made them feel like shit and the teachers ended lunch early since they thought it was a hazard. Never knew WTF it was from.
Never shared this story before. Truthfully, I forgot about it for years and years, but something another Anon poster in here reminded me of it. Nothing insane but certainly weird with no explanation. Probably why I forgot about it. Be around 12 or 13. Parents made me join Boy Scouts. Part of that was helping set up for different community events. Had to be in the park early one morning for just that. Was probably around 7-ish am. I remember it was rainy and foggy out. The area we were setting up was around bleachers, risers. On the lowest seat I notice a really strange bug. Or more correctly, half a bug. It looked kind of like a slug, but like something had eaten exactly half of it. It was big, and what was left of it was maybe 2 or 3 inches long. The weird thing though is that it was really transparent. I could see it was there, but it was like I was looking through glass. The light was a little disturbed and not entirely clear, but you could still see through it. However, if I walked over to where it had been bitten into, I could clearly see guts. I don't remember the color exactly, but they were a red or a yellow. Mention it to an adult but they don't really seem to care. Maybe this is just like a totally normal slug thing. But I don't understand how looking at something from the outside lets you see through it. But looking at a wound you can see its guts. I have seen glass frogs, and other clear animals, bugs. This wasn't like that.
When I was about 7 or 8 we lived in a little house in New England that was very old. Some buildings in the area from the 17th and 18th century, most of them with Masonic symbols carved into them. I kept having a recurring nightmare of an old dead tree stump in the woods, looked like the well from the Ring video but a stump. I was being pulled towards it, the top popped open like a lid and I toppled inside. I always woke up at that point. One night I had the same dream, got pulled into the old tree stump, but when I woke up this time I couldn't move. I opened my eyes, but they were sealed with plant roots. I could only open them a slit and peer through the roots that sewn them together. I stayed stuck underground like that for years, maybe decades, awake through whole time, face and eyes covered in a tangle of roots. After a lifetime I broke free and rushed to the bathroom expecting to see an old face, but I was still a boy. Same house, same bedroom. Every few nights I would be falling asleep when something inside the mattress would slide from one side to the other, felt like a tiny shark fin sliding across my side under the sheet. I dreaded getting poked by the bed shark every night.
Trapped in darkness. Simple as, be a child. Go with dad to the bathroom in an empty auditorium building. The bathroom is one of maybe 4 or 5 doors in this small connecting corridor. Go pee. Dad pees quicker apparently. After peeing, Dad has vanished. No door closing sound behind him. Just vanished in an instant. Go out of the bathroom to find Dad. Door closes and there is no light anywhere. Just no light in this corridor that was lit 70 seconds ago. No more doors. I can't open any doors, can't even find the handles or anything. This sense of eternity creeped into me. I'm in total darkness, running into walls, not able to escape, and this will be forever my experience. No exit. Lasts long enough that I felt confident I wasn't going to get out and help was not coming. All of a sudden lights turn on and I'm able to leave easily. My family is walking to cars and it's as if nothing happened, even though I was gone for over 30 minutes or something in my perception. In reality, it must have been less than 2 or 3 minutes. What was strange was the factor time. My father vanished so quickly, as if I looked up from pissing and he's already out of the bathroom and corridor. I was at an age where he wouldn't do that. He would have waited for me to be done and not leave me unattended. When I was trapped in darkness, it felt long enough for me to realize for the first time the feeling of no escape. No one's coming to help, your fate is inevitable. Yet when the lights turned on after I had these visceral realizations, I go out and there is my family walking to the cars, which they were already doing before Dad and I went to the bathroom. So the time I spent trapped in darkness did not add up to the time I actually spent in there.
Be about 6 years old. Wake up late at night. Go to take a shit in toilet, which is odd because I was always too afraid to use the toilet without a relative awake and nearby when I was a little kid. Sense presence and turn to look up at window while sitting. See demonic, horned, red face with black tattoos just grinning at me with sharp teeth and wide eyes. Black out. Years later I was able to associate the face with Darth Maul. They are identical. The issue is that I had never seen Darth Maul beforehand or even anything Star Wars related beyond stormtroopers and lightsabers, so if the character imprinted on me it must have been before I could even remember. Be about 8 years old. Sleeping on couch. Feel sleep paralysis kick in. Snap eyes open. Just a random gecko in front of my face screeching into my face for hours on end. Hours. Hours. Me paralyzed as this gecko screams bloody murder. Eventually fall unconscious from exhaustion and wake up, nobody knowing what the fuck I'm talking about. About 15 years old. Go out to kitchen in new house at about 2 to 3 a.m. to grab a drink. Back wooden door is open but screen door is closed. Shadow stands there watching. It stares at me. Laughing. I just grab my drink and leave. It never came back. About 17 or 18 years old. Feel exhausted and fall asleep with lights on, home alone. Wake up and see this creature by my bed. Fat, bloated, just endless flesh. Seems to be female with long hair but a long neck. It just fucking screams. It screams so loud and so long I feel like fucking vomiting. Abruptly wake up again, just a dream, but the room is the exact same as it was before, just with the creature again. Still hear screaming in my skull. My skull breaking and feeling like it's going to bleed. Run to bathroom to vomit. Stay awake rest of night due to pain, nausea and fear.
Be me, Babby boy in 90s. At Busch Gardens. In the Babby Park called Dragonland. See like one of those tube and obstacle playgrounds, wanna go check it out. Mom agrees to let me, but to stay where I can see her. Hell yeah. TubeWorld. Cool as shit. Without making a conscious decision to wander into the bowels of Tube Town, I look around and the place is fucking vast. I can't see outside the bounds of the layered maze anymore. Just tubes, ramps, ropes, nets, hanging bags, literally several stories high and way too wide. Shit was not this large when I was looking at it 5 minutes ago. Realize I don't know how to get out. Sense of anxiety but also adventure kicks in. I must escape Tubeville and return to my mother. Wander for fucking ages. Even sticking just to the ground floor out of what seemed like 5 layers, can't even find a fucking outer edge of the place. Other kids are always so distant, not even within communication range. Eventually run into a little kid. Sup man, do you know how to get out of here?
Nah man. I've been looking for the exit too. This place is huge.
Give him a knowing look, nod, and wish him luck. I eventually escape. Mom is bawling, worried sick. I'm sorry Mom. I got lost, it was too big and it didn't make sense. Never seen her this upset. I go on all the babby rides with my baby brother to try and make it up to her, it helps but she's phased. Apparently, I had been gone for over an hour. Felt like maybe 10 minutes, and even that was longer than I had anticipated spending. I look back at TubeWorld on our way out. It's not even close to that big. Wonder if my comrade ever made it out of the Dragonland Tube Labyrinth dimension. I'm now obsessed with schizo architecture and shit like House of Leaves, really stuck with me and bothers me because it was such an insane warping of perspective and scale as well as time that I don't understand what happened still.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentexts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.